Hi, welcome to the shop. So you can see I'm in the middle of something. Made this mess in order to make a huge change in my shop. I'm going to put down a wooden floor over top of the existing concrete floor. That'll make it a little easier on the legs and back, and all in all, a more comfortable place to work. It's going to be a huge job, so let's get started. So like most projects like this, you've got to start with some research. I did a lot of research trying to figure out what the best way to do it. I considered putting down stringers, maybe some insulation and plywood on top. And that was going to take up maybe 2 inches or more of height off the floor. And with 8-foot ceilings, I didn't like that idea. The other problem was concrete's damp, and I didn't want moisture to build up underneath of the flooring and cause me problems with mildew and things like that. So what I did was I landed upon a product called DRICORE. DRICORE is a 2-foot by 2-foot panel, tongue and groove, and it's got its OSB on top, and it's got this plastic on the bottom. As you can see, it's got little ridges to hold it up off the floor. I think this will be just the right thing. So I ordered it from Home Depot. It got here in less than a week. I let it acclimate in the shop for over 24 hours, like the instructions said, and now I'm getting ready to lay it down. We'll start with the back wall because it's the longest straight wall in the shop, and I'm going to start running it down the one side. Now, one deviation I'm going to make from the instructions, I just don't have any other way around it, is I'm going to do the back wall. I'm going to come out a couple rows, and then I'm going to work this corner of the shop over here in order to be able to move some of the equipment off the concrete and go to the next stage. That I don't think the instructions really were thinking about the issue where I've got lots of equipment and I've got to move it around the shop. I didn't have the luxury of moving everything out of the shop while I was doing this. So I think it'll work okay. So I want to start with the corner and see how this goes.
So I'm starting here in the back right-hand corner and working to the left, using spacers to keep the back edge straight and away from the wall about 1/4 of an inch, adjusting so I can keep that as perfectly straight as possible, and worked out 2 rows. Now here's where I had to cut around the cabinetry because I didn't want to take it up. It was attached to the floor. So I marked it out, cut that with the jigsaw. And then I'll tap that into place. I didn't have a whole lot to cut around, but that was one I did. So here's my first piece that I had to get up onto the new flooring. So I put some scraps in, tucked them into the groove so I wouldn't damage the groove, and then just rolled it right up. Now some of the ones you'll see here in a minute, it took a little more effort to get them up because they were a lot heavier. And you can see here I'm using my Viking arms to pick that up. Then I can put the flooring underneath the wheels and set it back down. Had a little trouble with that first one. And there you can see, walked it right up on there with no problems. Now this cabinet was extremely heavy and it was on furniture dollies. So I had to do the same thing using the dollies. This one was tricky to get up on there. And then I had to readjust the dollies once I got it up.
as with any project, when you're about halfway done, it's starting to feel like you know where you're going and you're getting that groove together. And it's at this point I kind of wanted to mention a couple things. Number one, you will want to get one of these pull bars, which is basically sort of an S-shaped hook that you can put under the edge when you get to the far wall and you're needing to tap in the tongue, but you're against the wall and can't get a hammer back this will allow you to slip down the end and you have this over here to hit with the hammer. So that helps a lot. I also ended up buying a tap block, which seemed a little ridiculous when I can just use a scrap to do it. But when I was buying the pry bar or the pull bar, I noticed this and thought, you know what? Having the handle would be convenient and it's also going to be easier to find. So I think it was a good purchase and I've used that a lot. Another thing that you're going to want to get is, if you don't already have, get yourself some furniture dollies. I like the solid ones the best. Not only is it great to put the furniture on to move it or the tools to move it, but also I was able to stack the panels on these dollies so I can move these around and get them off the pallet so I can conserve some space. Now, as you saw, I lifted the tools up so I could slide a piece of the flooring underneath of them to get onto the surface. And I couldn't have done it without these Viking arms. These are wonderful. They are a little bit expensive, but these things can lift, I think it's 300 pounds. And I could not have done this project without these. I have two of them. Expensive, but in my mind, well worth the expense. They've saved a lot of lifting and a lot of my wear and tear on my back. So I'd recommend those as well.
If you're considering putting a floor down in your shop, hopefully this video will help. If it does, like and subscribe. And just coming up, Tanner's going to help us show how to paint this floor.
All right, so last night before I left, I got all my tools moved to the one half of the shop. And this morning I laid in this last piece here in the corner. So I'm going to begin painting. Now you can see here at the garage doors, I left this back about 3 or 4 inches. And I'm going to put in a small ramp board there, kind of a threshold to transition from the concrete up to that. I want it to be ramped a little bit because I will be rolling things in through the other door. Now, this morning what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing painted, but first I have to sweep this up. Okay, now I'm ready to paint. The floor looks nice. It definitely brightens up the room, and I could have left it alone, but this is a workshop, so I know that things are going to get spilled, and if I left it alone, it's going to look like crap in a few years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint it a light beige color, and I didn't know exactly what to do, what paint to use, so I went over to see my friends at RVA Paint and Decorating here in Ashland, Virginia. They're a Benjamin Moore dealer. I like Benjamin Moore paints. They do paint nice, they hold up well, so I went over to see them, and they recommended this Command product by Benjamin Moore. It is for flooring. They use it in their shop. Their shop floor looked good. They could tint it any color I wanted it, so that's what I'm going to go with. So right now, what I'm going to do is I've already vacuumed. I'm going to paint this half today. Coat of primer, 2 coats of Command. I can recoat it in an hour each, so I'll be able to get this half done today. Then I'll give it 24 hours, come back day after tomorrow. I'll move all the equipment from this side of the room to that side of the room, give this 3 coats, let it dry 24 hours, and then I'll get everything back to where it belongs. A little bit time consuming, but that's okay. I wanted to do it right. So I've got it all swept up. Now I'm gonna start painting. I wanna start at this wall and work my way to the door. Obviously, I don't wanna paint myself in a corner, right? All right, the floor's been painted. It's cured for almost 24 hours, and I'm getting ready to put my tools back where they belong. I had made a few changes. I'm switching the long bench from the back of the shop to the front, and that way I'm gonna be able to move the miter saw down a little bit so it's a little easier to get to. I'm gonna get everything back in place today. Once I get all the tools back in place, I will be able to get to the front where the garage doors are and build that transition threshold and get that in place. But for right now, it's a matter of moving everything back. I did move back the bench first. I got it set where I want it because all of my tools are relevant to that. So I've got it 40 inches from the back bench. I'm going to have the table saw about 8 feet from the front of that. I want to try and make sure everything is relevant to that bench. So I put it in place first, and now I'll start getting everything else back in place. All right, so now what I'm doing is I've got to build a threshold for the garage doors. So what I've done is I've got some marine grade Baltic birch plywood. I ripped it into 2.5 inch pieces, and then I set my angle at 20 degrees, turn the board this way, and I'm going to rip it, and that's going to give me a nice even little ramp up onto the flooring. This is my test piece. I've got the first two done, so let's get the last one finished. All right, that about wraps it up. I got the floor down. I got the threshold down. I painted it orange for some safety, I guess. And all in all, I'm very pleased. The floor went down really easy. The paint seems really durable. The light color really brightens up the shop a lot, but it also shows every crumb of sawdust that I drop. But that's not necessarily a bad thing because it also shows everything like a screw or a part that I might drop. So that'll be a good thing. Also, I dropped a jar on it a little bit ago and it didn't break. So another positive. It is very comfortable to stand on. I think that'll be good. All in all, the whole shop with paint and everything cost just a little under $2,500. This is 800 square feet. So You know, wasn't cheap, but I think it'll be a huge addition to the shop itself. Now, because I rearranged a few things, I've got a lot to put away yet. Now, I'll go ahead and get that done, and I'll give you an update on that in a future video. But here's a list of the tools that I use to put this down with. And thanks for stopping by.